Trump inauguration on alert for lone wolf attacks, how to spot a bad actor. Date, January 19, 2025. Location, Washington, D.C. As the nation prepares for the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump, law enforcement agencies are on high alert for potential lone wolf attacks. With the ceremony set to take place indoors due to unseasonably cold temperatures, security measures have been heightened in anticipation of large crowds and the unpredictability of potential threats. Event timeline. January 17, 2025, a significant security incident occurred when a 44-year-old suspect attempted to breach security with a machete and 3 knives at the U.S. Capitol during a ceremony where Trump paid tribute to former President Jimmy Carter. The suspect was apprehended but subsequently granted conditional pretrial release. January 19, 2025, as Inauguration Day approaches, law enforcement officials, including the Secret Service and local police, ramp up efforts to detect and deter any potential threats. Understanding the threat. According to Sergeant Matthew Fagiana, a retired patrol commander with extensive experience in law enforcement, lone wolf attackers pose a unique challenge due to their unpredictable nature and motivations often rooted in extremist ideologies. The recent incident involving the machete-wielding suspect has intensified concerns regarding such threats during high-profile events like the inauguration. Fagiana emphasized the importance of vigilance among law enforcement personnel tasked with ensuring the safety of attendees. Lone wolf actors are always extremely significant to law enforcement personnel who are trying to safeguard the people that are attending these events, he stated. The unpredictability of these individuals makes them particularly dangerous. Key indicators of potential threats. To aid in the identification of potential lone wolf actors, law enforcement officials are on the lookout for several red flags that may indicate suspicious behavior. 1. Unusual body language. Nervous or fidgety behavior such as pacing or lingering in restricted areas can be indicative of an individual who may pose a threat. Fagiana pointed out that nervous individuals may exhibit involuntary actions such as sweating excessively even in cold weather. 2. Involuntary reactions. Observing how individuals react to their environment is crucial. For example, someone sweating profusely in January could signal heightened anxiety or nervousness. 3. Abnormal clothing for the season. Individuals dressed inappropriately for the weather, such as wearing heavy clothing during a summer event, should be monitored closely as it may suggest they are concealing weapons or other prohibited items. Public role in enhancing safety. Fagiana reiterated the importance of public cooperation in ensuring safety during the inauguration. He urged attendees to practice situational awareness, encouraging them to put away their phones and actively observe their surroundings. Noticing unusual behavior and reporting it to law enforcement can significantly enhance overall security. Trust your gut, Fagiana advised. If something feels off, individuals should not hesitate to voice their concerns to nearby officers. This proactive approach can assist law enforcement in identifying and addressing potential threats before they escalate. Security preparations and prohibited items. To further bolster security, the U.S. Capitol Police Department has released a list of 50 prohibited items that will not be allowed on Capitol grounds during the inauguration. The list includes common items such as bicycles, umbrellas, and liquids, aimed at preventing any potential weapon from entering the secured area. Police are prepared to establish buffer zones to manage crowd flow and conduct thorough checks of individuals entering the event. These measures are designed to give law enforcement adequate time to intercept any items or individuals that may pose a risk. Conclusion. As the inauguration of Donald Trump approaches, the collaboration between law enforcement and the public is more critical than ever. By remaining vigilant and aware of their surroundings, attendees can contribute to a safer environment during this significant event. Fagiana's insights serve as a reminder that the responsibility of ensuring safety lies not only with law enforcement but also within the community itself. The inauguration is a pivotal moment in American politics, and while the presence of potential threats cannot be ignored, the collective efforts of law enforcement and the public can help to mitigate risks and ensure a successful ceremony. The content highlights the measures taken by law enforcement to prevent potential threats during the inauguration of Donald Trump, particularly focusing on the risk of lone wolf attacks. Here are several counterintuitive pieces of information contained within the content. 1. Indoor events can be safer. The decision to move the inauguration ceremony indoors due to cold temperatures is typically seen as a comfort measure, but it is also argued that indoor events may provide a more controlled environment for security. This goes against the common assumption that outdoor events are inherently safer simply because they are open air. 2. Public awareness versus panic. The content emphasizes the importance of public situational awareness and encourages citizens to report suspicious behavior. However, this could lead to a paradox where increased vigilance may result in heightened anxiety or panic among the public, leading to overreporting of benign behaviors as suspicious. 3. Unpredictability of lone wolves. While lone wolf attackers can be unpredictable, the article suggests that law enforcement has systems in place to monitor individuals who have made credible threats. This implies a level of predictability in monitoring that contradicts the notion that such attackers are entirely difficult to anticipate. For body language as a red flag, the reliance on body language and physical signs of nervousness to identify potential threats can be counterintuitive. Nervousness is a common human response, and many innocent individuals may exhibit these signs. This raises the question of whether law enforcement might inadvertently profile or misidentify individuals based on normal human behavior. 5. Prohibition of common items. The extensive list of prohibited items, ranging from bicycles to umbrellas, may seem excessive or counterproductive, as it could inconvenience ordinary citizens attending the event. This could inadvertently create a scenario where individuals feel more restricted than safe, which contradicts the goal of fostering a secure atmosphere. 6. Trusting your gut. The advice to trust your gut can be seen as counterintuitive in a world where people are often advised to rely on objective evidence rather than instincts. This suggests a shift back to subjective judgment in assessing threats, which can lead to varied interpretations of what constitutes suspicious behavior. 7. Involuntary reactions as indicators. The emphasis on involuntary reactions such as sweating in cold weather as potential indicators of threat may lead to misinterpretation of normal physiological responses. This counters the understanding that many individuals react differently to stress and environmental conditions, potentially leading to false positives in threat assessments. 8. Community engagement versus isolation. The call for community vigilance and collaboration with law enforcement might seem to promote a sense of community and security. However, it could also foster an environment of suspicion among citizens where individuals feel they must constantly monitor each other, potentially increasing social isolation rather than community cohesion. These counterintuitive elements highlight the complexities and potential pitfalls of security measures in public events, especially in the context of heightened threat awareness during politically charged occasions like an inauguration. The report regarding the heightened security measures for Trump's inauguration focuses on the potential threat posed by lone wolf attackers. While much of the report emphasizes the need for situational awareness and identifying unusual behaviors, there are several important details that might be easily overlooked yet hold significant implications for public safety and law enforcement effectiveness. Key details to note. 1. The context of recent threats. The report highlights a specific incident where a machete-wielding suspect attempted to enter a secure area during a tribute to former President Carter. This incident not only underscores the immediate risks associated with high-profile events but also illustrates the kinds of threats that law enforcement is currently facing. Understanding this context is crucial as it provides a real-life example of the unpredictable nature of lone wolf attackers. It emphasizes that threats can emerge unexpectedly, thus increasing the urgency for public vigilance and law enforcement preparedness. 2. Behavioral indicators of suspicion. The report outlines various behavioral indicators that law enforcement personnel are trained to observe, such as unusual body language, sweating in cold weather, or inappropriate clothing for the season. These subtle cues are significant because they provide a framework for ordinary citizens to participate in security measures. The importance of this public involvement cannot be overstated. It creates an additional layer of scrutiny that can help prevent potential attacks. This aspect of community policing, empowering citizens to identify and report suspicious behavior, can be the difference between a thwarted attack and a tragic event. 3. Call for public engagement. One of the report's key messages is the emphasis on situational awareness among the public. While this may seem like a standard safety guideline, the report underscores a cultural shift towards collective responsibility in security matters. By encouraging citizens to trust their gut and report anything unusual, law enforcement fosters a community-driven approach to safety. This engagement is particularly crucial in an era where public events are frequent targets for lone wolf attackers. The implication here is profound. If citizens are more observant and proactive, it can significantly alleviate the burden on law enforcement agencies. 4. Intelligence sharing and monitoring. The report mentions that federal partners responsible for intelligence gathering will be monitoring individuals who have made credible threats. This detail is critical because it reassures the public that there is a systematic approach to identifying potential threats. However, it also raises questions about the effectiveness of such monitoring and the balance between security and civil liberties. The significance of this lies in the reminder that while law enforcement agencies are prepared to handle threats, ongoing vigilance and public cooperation remain essential. 5. Prohibited items list. The report lists 50 prohibited items for the inauguration, highlighting the measures in place to prevent dangerous items from reaching the event. While the list itself may seem like a basic precaution, its implications for crowd control and security protocols are significant. The existence of such a list indicates a meticulous approach to planning for large-scale events, reinforcing the idea that even commonplace items can pose risks in certain contexts. This aspect serves as a reminder to the public about the importance of compliance with security measures, thus enhancing overall safety. Why these details matter. The significance of the overlooked details lies in their potential impact on public safety and the effectiveness of law enforcement during high-risk events. Understanding the context of recent threats provides a sobering reminder of the stakes involved and the unpredictable nature of lone wolf attackers. Recognizing behavioral indicators empowers the public to play an active role in safety, which is essential in a society where threats can manifest at any moment. Moreover, the call for public engagement shifts the narrative from viewing security solely as a law enforcement issue to one that involves community participation. This shift is vital in a world where the nature of threats is evolving, necessitating a more collaborative approach to security. Lastly, the emphasis on prohibited items and systematic intelligence monitoring highlights the intricate planning and foresight required to protect public events. It serves as a reminder that while precautions are in place, community vigilance is an indispensable component of effective security strategies. In summary, while the report addresses various aspects of security for Trump's inauguration, it is the nuanced understanding of public involvement, behavior observation, and the context of recent threats that holds the most significant implications for both public safety and community policing dynamics. 1. Understanding the lone wolf threat. The concept of lone wolf attackers poses unique challenges for law enforcement due to their unpredictability and motivations rooted in extremist ideologies. This heightened risk is particularly pertinent during high-profile events like presidential inaugurations, where large crowds gather, creating opportunities for potential attacks. The incident involving a machete-wielding suspect attempting to breach security underscores the urgency for vigilance among both law enforcement and the public. 2. Key indicators of suspicious behavior. Identification of potential threats hinges on recognizing specific behavioral red flags. Security experts like retired Patrol Commander Matthew Fagiana emphasize unusual body language, nonverbal signs of anxiety, sweating in cold weather, and inappropriate clothing choices as critical indicators. These markers serve as vital cues for law enforcement to differentiate between ordinary attendees and individuals posing a potential threat. 3. Public involvement and situational awareness. The role of the public is crucial in enhancing security during large events. Fagiana advocates for active situational awareness, urging individuals to remain alert, observe their surroundings, and report suspicious behaviors to law enforcement. This collective vigilance can significantly aid in preventing incidents before they escalate, promoting a culture of safety and responsiveness at public gatherings. 4. Preparedness and communication protocols. Effective security measures during events like the inauguration rely on robust coordination between various law enforcement agencies, including the Secret Service, local police, and intelligence units. The establishment of clear communication channels and the implementation of a comprehensive list of prohibited items help mitigate risks, ensuring that both participants and security personnel are aligned in their efforts to maintain safety. Public cooperation with these protocols is essential as it reinforces the barrier against potential threats entering secured areas. 1. The assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, 1968. On June 5, 1968, Senator Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated in Los Angeles shortly after delivering a victory speech upon winning the California primary for the Democratic presidential nomination. The assassin Sirhan Sirhan acted alone and was motivated by a complex mix of political and personal factors. This tragic event highlighted the dangers of lone wolf attacks on public figures, as Kennedy's assassination took place in a crowded setting, raising significant concerns about security measures during political events. 2. The Oklahoma City bombing, 1995. On April 19, 1995, Timothy McVeigh, a former U.S. Army soldier, executed a domestic terrorism attack by detonating a bomb outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. This act of violence resulted in the deaths of 168 people and injured over 600. McVeigh was a lone wolf actor motivated by his anti-government beliefs and was able to carry out this devastating attack despite security measures in place. The bombing underscored the need for law enforcement to recognize and address the risks posed by individuals driven by extremist ideologies. 3. The shooting at the U.S. Capitol, 2021. On January 6, 2021, during a riot at the U.S. Capitol, a lone gunman, Ashley Babbitt, was shot by police while attempting to breach a barricade within the Capitol building. This incident occurred amidst a larger violent attack on the Capitol by a mob attempting to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. The event raised alarms about the potential for lone wolf actors to disrupt political processes and posed questions about the adequacy of security measures in place during high-stakes government events. In the context of heightened security concerns surrounding major public events, the anticipation of lone wolf attacks during significant occasions such as Trump's inauguration has prompted a multifaceted approach by law enforcement and security agencies. This situation reflects broader trends in security strategy and public safety, highlighting the necessity for vigilance and proactive measures in an evolving threat landscape. Here are predictions for the future outlook regarding security measures at large public events and potential threats like lone wolf attacks. 1. Increased use of technology. As threats evolve, so too will the technology used to combat them. Future events are likely to see a rise in the use of advanced surveillance technologies, including facial recognition systems, drones for aerial monitoring, and artificial intelligence (AI) algorithms to analyze behavioral patterns in crowds. These tools will enhance the ability to identify potential threats before they escalate, allowing for quicker response times by security personnel. 2. Enhanced public awareness campaigns. Law enforcement agencies will likely invest more in public awareness campaigns to educate citizens on recognizing and reporting suspicious behavior. Future initiatives may include training programs, community workshops, and digital resources aimed at promoting situational awareness. By empowering the public to be vigilant, authorities can create a more cohesive security environment where individuals feel responsible for their safety and that of others. 3. Collaboration between agencies. The future will likely see increased collaboration among various law enforcement agencies, intelligence communities, and local organizations. The sharing of information and resources will be crucial in identifying and mitigating potential threats. Joint task forces and partnerships will become more common, allowing for a more coordinated response to security concerns, especially at large-scale events. 4. Focus on mental health and extremism. As understanding of the psychological factors behind lone wolf attacks improves, there will be an increased focus on mental health support and intervention strategies. Future security measures may involve collaboration with mental health professionals to identify at-risk individuals and provide necessary resources before they resort to violence. This holistic approach could help prevent attacks from occurring in the first place. 5. Legislation and policy changes. The evolving landscape of threats may lead to new laws and policies aimed at preventing lone wolf attacks. Future regulations could involve stricter controls on the sale of weapons, enhanced background checks, and restrictions on certain types of conduct that could indicate potential extremist behavior. Additionally, there may be discussions around balancing civil liberties with necessary security measures, leading to nuanced policy debates. 6. Emergence of predictive policing. The future may bring more reliance on predictive policing techniques, where data analytics are used to forecast potential criminal behavior based on historical data and patterns. This could help law enforcement agencies allocate resources more effectively and preemptively address security concerns at events. However, it will be essential to navigate the ethical implications of such practices to ensure they do not infringe on individuals' rights. 7. Greater emphasis on crowd management. As large gatherings become more prevalent, effective crowd management will be crucial for ensuring public safety. Future events may incorporate more sophisticated crowd control strategies, including real-time monitoring of crowd density and behavior through technology. This proactive approach can help mitigate risks associated with large gatherings, making them safer for participants and attendees. 8. Community resilience initiatives. Building resilience within communities will become a focal point for future security strategies. Programs aimed at fostering community cohesion and encouraging open dialogue about safety concerns will be essential. By creating a sense of collective responsibility, communities can better respond to and recover from potential threats, reducing fear and enhancing overall public safety. 9. Global perspective on security threats. As security threats are not confined to specific regions, there will likely be a more global perspective on addressing lone wolf attacks and other forms of violence. International collaboration among law enforcement and intelligence agencies will be crucial in sharing best practices, intelligence, and resources to combat threats that transcend borders. 10. Adapting to new extremist trends. Finally, as extremist ideologies continue to evolve, security measures must adapt to address emerging threats. Future strategies will need to be flexible and responsive, incorporating ongoing research and analysis of extremist movements and their tactics. This adaptability will be key in staying one step ahead of potential attackers. Conclusion. The future of security at large public events, particularly in the context of potential lone wolf attacks, will be marked by a blend of advanced technology, community engagement, and strategic collaboration. While the landscape of threats may continue to evolve, a proactive and informed approach will be vital in enhancing public safety and preventing violence in increasingly complex environments.